It's 2024 and the isekai genre is still huge, and at this point it's just overdone. What if I told you there's a story that takes all the isekai tropes that you can think of, pukes it all out, and then burns it all to recreate something fresh? I'm going to give you a brief summary of surviving the game as a barbarian, its world building, how characters generally handle things, and why this might not be it for you. I feel like this story could be on the level of Hunter x Hunter, so you don't want to miss out on this webtoon. Surviving the game as a barbarian is a webtoon set in a game world where our main character, Hansu Lee, gets transported in this game world that he played in for the past 9 years. The game is called Dungeon and Stone, and it sure looks like a typical JRPG set in medieval Europe because, I don't know, Japan kinda gets off of that trope or something. But okay, look, this is something we've already seen a million times by now. The isekai trope is literally everywhere. But I got invested in this story for a couple of very specific reasons. Deep world building and characters actually being fucking intelligent. I hate it when a story doesn't bring anything new to the table and kind of just assume that we as a reader already know everything about the world. A couple of the normal classes like warriors, mages, archers. You go to the inn to eat and sleep. There's weapon, armor, and item shop somewhere in town, and there's a quest hall where you go get your quest. And when you get your quest, it's probably something like go get this item in the forest, but beware that there are goblins probably living near it. Or if you're farther into the game, maybe it'll say something like summoning seasoned adventurers to slay the legendary dragon that's been terrorizing the land. And your rewards? Well, mostly just item and gold. You keep doing that until you beat the final boss, and that's usually the premise of most JRPGs. But Dungeon and Stone is different. It plays more like a roguelike dungeon crawler, so that means permadeath, just a couple of classes. This game has 6, and a bunch of different builds inside each class. Think of the Binding of Isaac, where your build is completely different based on the items that you find randomly in the dungeon. There's also lots of different subsystems that help or break your character. Achievements, monster essences, items, gear, timed events, random events, and whatever else the fucking story is gonna throw at us. Stats even have different names and meanings compared to a normal game, like physique, spirit, item, and combat level. And there's different substats. One of them is called Obsession, which even the main character didn't know what it did. From a gameplay perspective, it feels like a super hard game to get into, let alone clear, since most things adjust more stats than you would think. If you've played a game this complex before, let me know in the comments below so I can see what an insane gamer you are. I mean, look at what this essence gives to a character. What the fuck are all these stats? You might think, wow, it sure does a lot to add in a lot of numbers to my build. But no, you'll have to think really hard about it in Dungeon and Stone, because the one who absorbed this essence was a barbarian. Increased bow density and reduced height means that your character will shrink, will have reduced muscle mass. This might mean that other barbarians might start bullying you because to a barbarian, strength is everything. And the skills are no joke as well. This passive skill, Preservative, fucking halves all damage over time effect. Can you imagine getting another skill that halves it again? Assuming it kinda just adds up, it'll mean that your character is now suddenly invulnerable to all bleeding and poison damage. How fucking broken can you be? The other skill is called Vitality Absorption, and it's literally just lifesteal, temporarily increasing your own regeneration for every successful hit. The numbers on this skill would make or break skill, but it certainly does seem fucking strong to have, because in this universe, healing and battle just doesn't happen. In the game, it means that you can only drink potions outside of a battle, but in universe, you can't drink a potion in battle because it hurts so fucking much that you can't move. It apparently hurts more than getting the actual wound itself, and if that isn't good fucking explanation, I don't know what is. And that's just the game itself. Let's get to the really cool part. Character intelligence. Our main boy, Hansu, gets thrown into a familiar scene. Warriors grab a weapon one by one in a big ceremony to go grab their glory in the city of Ravdonia. He instantly realizes his situation, but it's somehow different from a normal isekai. Someone next to him is also transported into the game world, but he just panics. He then starts questioning the world around him like a normal person would, honestly. I can't fault the guy. Then this huge guy comes over and says, "Was it you who talked?" And our main character already knows he shouldn't step out of line, and he screams, "No!" The other guy, who did actually talk, just starts questioning about Dungeon and Stone and instantly gets decimated. Like, holy shit, this guy just fucking died. And the main character can't even move. Fucking scared. Of course he should be scared. The guy next to you just got beheaded, like in the French Revolution. But just from this interaction, Hansu knows 3 things. Anyone isekai'd into this world is called the evil spirit. Second thing, evil spirits are immediately killed. And third thing, he could have died instead of the other guy. Which means that his conclusion is, finish the ceremony without being found out. And the first chapter in, and it's already a fucking death game. How sick is that? But there's something I don't like about this webtoon, and that's how much this guy can remember things. He somehow remembers every stat number for every item, essence, or whatever the fuck else is in this game. And I find that insane. I've played played RuneScape and League of Legends for a long time. I don't know for shit what the exact numbers are for various things. If you would ask me how much attack speed of Runance would give me, or how much stab damage Iron Sword and RuneScape would give me, I have no clue. But Hansu somehow just does? Hell no, I couldn't be like Hansu, and I don't think anyone in their right mind would do that. And there's also not that many chapters out there yet, which I also hate, and that usually happens to things that I really see a lot of promise. I really want to see this story get more fleshed out, but it'll probably take a few more years before you actually get somewhere with the story. But if you want the whole story, it's available as a machine translated web novel. But I can't deal with the machine translations. I think that the translation is fucking horrible. I don't have the patience to deal with that. Been there with Soul Land, and never again. If you want to know more about various topics that I find intriguing, or are just here to chill with stories, make sure to subscribe. I think this webtoon is a great example of what makes a very intriguing story that really makes you think about what's happening and why things are happening. I think that this is also enjoyable even if you don't figure things out yourself, or if you're kind of just reading it without giving the story much thought. The story kind of just progresses. There's not too much dialogue, and the battles are pretty cool. If you would just look at the pictures, it would certainly seem like everything is going well for our main character without any struggle. But I don't think that the details that you can find in between the lines or in the background take away from that. I think they add to it.
Pick your beak, pick your beak, stretch out your neck.